3 days later, the city was enjoying one of the busiest holiday weekends of the year. Harbor Grill was completely booked, with families filling every table and delivery trucks arriving throughout the day. The restaurant had stocked thousands of pounds of premium seafood, steaks, fresh produce, and specialty desserts to meet the holiday demand. The owner proudly believed he had saved money by refusing to pay Michael. The extra $40 convinced the repair had been unnecessary. Late Saturday evening, disaster struck. The damaged refrigeration line that Michael had warned about finally gave way under the constant pressure of non-stop operation. Refrigerant escaped rapidly, causing the walk-in freezer to lose cooling power within minutes. By the time employees noticed the rising temperature, it was too late. Thousands of dollars worth of food had already begun to spoil, and the entire refrigeration system shut down. Restaurant managers rushed to rent emergency refrigeration units, but there were none available because every supplier in the area had already rented their equipment for the busy holiday weekend. Health inspectors arrived after receiving customer complaints about food safety and immediately ordered the restaurant to stop serving meals until every refrigeration system passed inspection. The closure triggered a chain reaction of financial losses. Hundreds of reservations were canceled, catering contracts were terminated, and suppliers demanded compensation for wasted inventory. Several corporate clients withdrew long-term agreements, unwilling to risk future disruptions. Insurance investigators reviewed the incident and discovered that the owner had ignored a technician's written recommendation to replace the damaged refrigeration fitting. Among the maintenance records was Michael Brooks' signed inspection report. It clearly stated that the cracked refrigeration line required immediate replacement and documented that the restaurant manager had approved the repair. The report also showed that the additional replacement fitting cost only $40. When the owner saw the paperwork, his confidence disappeared. He realized Michael had acted professionally and honestly. From the very beginning, the disaster had not been caused by poor workmanship, but by the owner's refusal to honor a simple payment and respect expert advice. Within days, financial analysts estimated that canceled contracts, spoiled inventory, emergency expenses, legal claims, and business interruption had created losses exceeding $12 million. Filled with regret, the owner contacted Michael and personally apologized for humiliating him in front of customers and employees. He immediately paid every unpaid invoice, including the disputed $40, and admitted that his pride had cost far more than money. Michael accepted the payment without anger or revenge. He simply thanked the owner and wished the business well. As he drove home to his son in his old service van, he felt proud that he had remained honest despite being treated unfairly. His quiet professionalism had spoken louder than any argument, proving that integrity, respect, and doing the right thing will always outlast arrogance and greed. 3 days after Michael Brooks left Harbor Grill, the holiday weekend brought record-breaking crowds to downtown Dallas. Every table in the restaurant was reserved, and the kitchen worked non-stop from morning until midnight. Confident that business was booming, the owner congratulated himself for refusing to pay the extra $40, believing he had outsmarted a small contractor trying to overcharge him just before the dinner rush on Sunday evening. Employees heard a loud hissing sound coming from the walk-in freezer. Within minutes, the cooling system shut down completely. The temperature inside the freezer began rising at an alarming rate. Chefs rushed to move expensive seafood, premium steaks, and dairy products into smaller refrigerators, but there wasn't enough space. Thousands of dollars worth of fresh ingredients quickly became unsafe for use. Panic spread throughout the restaurant. Customers waited for meals that never arrived, while managers called every refrigeration company in the city, searching for emergency service. Because it was a holiday weekend, every technician was already booked. By the time another repair crew arrived several hours later, the damage had already been done. Health inspectors soon visited. After receiving reports of refrigeration failure, after inspecting the spoiled food and broken cooling system, they ordered the restaurant to close immediately until the equipment was repaired and the kitchen met safety standards. Again, news of the closure spread across social media, causing hundreds of reservation cancellations. Within hours, catering orders for several corporate events were also canceled, forcing the restaurant to refund large deposits and compensate disappointed clients. As insurance investigators examined the incident, they requested maintenance records from the previous week. The restaurant manager reluctantly handed over Michael's inspection report. Every detail was clearly documented, including photographs of the cracked refrigeration line and a written recommendation explaining that replacing a small fitting costing only $40 would prevent a complete system failure. The report even included the manager's signature approving the repair. The investigators concluded that the breakdown was entirely preventable because management had ignored a documented maintenance recommendation and later refused to honor the approved repair. Parts of the insurance claim were denied. Between spoiled inventory, canceled contracts, emergency repair costs, legal disputes, lost revenue, and insurance complications, financial experts estimated the total loss had climbed to more than $12 million. The owner sat silently in his office, staring at the unpaid invoice that had caused everything. He finally understood that Michael had never tried to take advantage of him. He had simply done his job with honesty and professionalism. Ashamed of his behavior, the owner called Michael personally, apologized for humiliating him in front of customers, and immediately paid every outstanding bill. Michael accepted the apology with dignity, proving that integrity, patience, and respect are far more valuable than greed, and that even the smallest act of fairness can prevent the greatest of losses.